With the success of Back to the Future, both 2 and 3 were produced at the same time. Making a sequel to Back to the Future was a crazy idea, but somehow it actually worked. I would even go as far to say it's one of the best sequels of all time. What other sequel can you think of goes back to the first movie? Let's talk about the plot. The first thing that happens, they go to the future, to the year 2015. We see how Hill Valley's changed. We see a lot of interesting future gadgets, a lot of pop culture references, and we meet Old Man Biff and his grandson Griff. The whole reason they went to the future is to stop Marty's son from going to jail. They succeed, but this is only where the movie really gets started. Marty's just as good as screwing up in the future as he is in screwing up in the past. He lets Biff get a sports almanac. Biff goes back to 1955, gives it to young Biff, bets on all the sports games, and becomes a millionaire. And that's only the beginning. But basically, Marty's present time, 1985, is now an alternate 1985 in which Hill Valley has went to hell. So Marty has to go back to 1955 and get the almanac from Biff. Now what happens here is that we actually go back to the events of the first movie and witness everything from different perspectives. It's really clever how it all works out. It's complicated and hard to explain the plot in such a short time, so let's just say it's good and get to the fun stuff. My favorite Marty line is when Doc tells them that they have to go to the future.
Wait a minute, Doc, what are you talking about? And what happens to us in the future? What, do we become assholes or something?
It's funny that's the first thing he comes up with, but Doc's expression is hilarious that he actually has to stop and think about it for a moment. My favorite Doc Brown line. This one's just a quick little joke, but it works so well.
You're not gonna believe this! We gotta go back to 1955!
I don't believe it!
My favorite Biff line, by far, is when the old man Biff goes back to give the almanac to his younger self. And of course, young Biff doesn't understand what's going on.
Get the hell out of my car, old man!
He's trying to make him a rich man, and he has to be an asshole about it? It's great. Back to the Future 2 isn't a perfect movie. One minor thing that I don't like is that now Marty hates being called chicken. It's a running gag that was never addressed in the first movie. But I can't think of much else wrong with it. It's certainly not as great as the first movie, but that was a tough act to follow. It's impressive how it wraps its storyline around the first film and stays so consistent with all the timeline stuff. In the long run, it expands the universe of Hill Valley, explores the characters deeper, and enhances the enjoyment of both films at the same time.
Is this your ball? Is this your ball? You want it back? Go get it!